Comic relief. Back at the NOC, we debussed and entered the visitors center where Durga, despite my crinkled brow of discontent, had to buy another hooded t-shirt, sweatshirt, and, like the wise goddess that she is, placated her ever amorous and worshipping congregant by buying me an ice cream, said treat forestalling any words of discontent being uttered. We said our goodbyes to Belly, said we'd be back to raft again, then changed from our wet clothes to the dry ones we'd brought with us before heading down to Sean's bungalow, where we met up with our son and Kyle C.S., who, come October, will winter in the spare room across the hall from Sean, who, along with his lovable Nala, will also be with us until spring and the two humans return to NOC Chattooga River Outpost. A discussion about dinner ensued, and Durga checked Fortify's reservations. Finding available slots few and far between at Fortify, Sean suggested the Hush Cuban Kitchen and Bar, a downgrade in presentation from Fortify, but a restaurant of which he'd heard good things. We agreed to meet there, and as fate would have it, Hush is catty-cornered to the Mexican restaurant we checked out on our first visit to Clayton, a cantina whose service was bad and whose food was worse, an establishment so cankerous that I wondered how it stayed in business. Turns out it didn't. The Mexican place down the street had gone belly up and been replaced by an eatery that statistically had to be better, an end to La Cocina that was no doubt deserved. Hush, on the other hand, was lovely, the service spectacular, and the food palatable, though not great. We four found our meals cost reasonable, the food above average, and praised for the high quality of service worth repeating. We'll likely visit again when we return to Clayton. Following dinner, we headed to our Airbnb, and Sean suggested we check out David Nihill, a comedian he thought would appeal to all of us. Irishman Nihill toured the USA, and his comedy centered on how all white people, except the Irish, have long histories of racial bigotry and imperialism, and how seemingly everyone in the world had some Irish heritage. Nihill's comedy worked for us, and we enjoyed his show, especially as it dovetailed with one of Sean's raft guide spiels, where he, with his pale skin, long ginger hair, and flowing auburn beard, has capitalized on his Irish heritage, a heritage that includes all four of Durga's grandparents migrating to the USA from the Emerald Isle, as well as my Marky mother's Irish heritage in a way that amuses his Reggies, because amused Reggies are higher tipping Reggies. I almost stayed awake until the show's end, and what I saw made me laugh. We said our goodbyes, told Kyle we'd see him in October, and headed to bed. Sean's and my cross-country trek behind us, our time at the NOC pleasant, and all of us looking forward to the winter and discovering what adventures awaited us back in Raleigh.